I stepped into the dimly lit exam room, Seattle's gray light filtering through the blinds, clipboard in hand, my pulse ticking faster than it should. The air carried a strange weight, like a storm brewing over Puget Sound. This wasn't my first time assisting a patient, but something about this visit threw me off balance. As a nurse in a hectic downtown Seattle hospital, I've seen it all, or so I had until Mr. Thomas Langley. Thomas wasn't someone I'd prepped my heart for. A quiet man of 51, he kept to himself, always in for routine blood pressure and heart checks. Nothing out of the ordinary. I'd assisted him before, but today, the moment I entered, a shiver ran through me, unexplainable. He sat upright on the exam table posture, rigid, uneasy, his gray eyes darting like a trapped animal. He shifted under the thin paper gown, its crinkle loud in the sterile silence. "Good afternoon, Mr. Langley," I said softly, offering a gentle smile as I approached. "Feeling okay today?" He nodded quickly, a jerky motion, but I caught the restlessness in his gaze like a storm behind a calm sea. "Something's off. Let's get you settled for the exam," I said, stepping closer to adjust the monitor and fix his gown. As I moved, my eyes betrayed me, catching an unmistakable outline beneath the gown's thin folds. I froze for a split second. Heat flooded my face and I looked away fast, chiding myself to stay professional. I'm a nurse. I'm trained for awkward moments. These things happen, anatomy, nothing more. But the suddenness, the raw exposure rattled me more than I expected. I cleared my throat, fussing with the bedsheet. "Let's get you set for the doctor." But as I adjusted, he shifted too fast. The gown's edge slipped completely, baring everything. I gasped instinctively, turning my head, heart hammering as I fought for composure. My mind raced. Address it, leave, pretend it didn't happen. Before I could decide, the door creaked open behind me. "Oh, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt," another nurse's voice called. Clara peeked in her eyes, widening at the tension, then retreated, slamming the door shut. I faced Thomas, his face now crimson, shame etched deep. He barely tried to cover himself, the air thick with unease. "I'm so sorry about that," he mumbled, staring at his lap, avoiding my eyes. I took a breath, steadying my voice. "It's fine. Let's prep for the exam." As I turned for fresh linens, his hand brushed mine. I froze again. It was light, almost accidental, but the linger made me question, was it a mistake or a silent signal? My skin prickled, a warning bell in my chest. Instinct screamed professionalism, but intuition whispered caution. Just then the door swung open. Dr. Samuel Carter, oblivious, strode in, chart in hand. "Everything good here?" he asked cheerfully. "Yes, doctor," I said quickly, stepping aside. "Mr. Langley's ready." I didn't look back. I needed out. As Dr. Carter began his routine questions, I slipped out, pulse still racing, the unease clinging like damp Seattle fog. That afternoon, charting vitals, my phone buzzed, a message from reception. "Thomas requested Nurse Olivia for tomorrow's exam." My stomach knotted. Why me? Had I done something wrong? Was it because I saw what I shouldn't have, or was something deeper taking root? The next day came too fast. I stood outside his room, breathing deep Seattle's rain, tapping the windows, vowing to stay calm, professional, detached. But when I opened the door and our eyes met, that restless spark returned. He smiled, not the shy embarrassment of yesterday, but something bolder, controlled, like a predator sizing prey. "I've been thinking about you," he said softly. My heart skipped, but I forced a tight smile. "Let's focus on your checkup, Mr. Langley," I said firmly, steering the conversation. As I moved to check his vitals, my thoughts churned. Something was wrong. deep down I sensed this was only the beginning. The next morning, I entered the hospital with Seattle's drizzle soaking my scrubs, determined to keep distance. Yesterday left me rattled. I told myself I was overthinking, maybe Thomas was just awkward and I'd blown it out of proportion. But his request demanding me again and that smile sharp as a scalpel weren't imagined. I busied myself with other patients' vitals paperwork, the hum of the hospital a shield. Around 10 a.m. reception called. Thomas was in exam room 3 specifically requesting me. My gut twisted. I grabbed the chart, squared my shoulders. This time I'd be clear, keep distance if needed. Just get through it. Inside, Thomas sat upright, gown on, 2 relaxed hands clasped on his lap, expression unreadable. "Morning," I said, voice clipped, professional. "We'll get you set." He smiled again, that unnerving confidence in his gray eyes. "Glad it's you." I paused. "Let's focus on your care today." He said nothing as I adjusted the cuff, my movements precise, deliberate. But as I leaned to fix the monitor, he spoke low, almost a whisper. "I've been thinking about you." My jaw tightened. "Mr. Langley, I'm here for your medical needs, not personal talk," I said sharply. He smiled unfazed, like he'd expected it, his gaze tracking me. Suddenly the door opened. I nearly jumped, relieved, until I saw her. Not a doctor. A woman, mid-40s, striking sharp features, chestnut hair pulled back, dressed in a sleek gray coat, no scrubs. Her eyes swept the room, landing on me, then Thomas. "Am I interrupting?" she asked, her voice calm but laced with steel. Thomas's expression flickered. "Not at all," he said. I stood straight, heart pounding. "Just finished. I'll leave you two." I brushed past her, her perfume sharp, her presence heavy, and fled to the hall, exhaling hard. Her face burned in my mind, those piercing eyes that measured tone. His wife. I knew without confirmation, and she knew or suspected something. Back at the nurses' station, Seattle's rain drumming outside, I tried to shake the encounter, but her gaze haunted me like she'd seen a secret in that room. Had I escaped danger or stepped into shame? That afternoon, sorting charts, another message hit. Thomas requested me for tomorrow's exam. I stared, frozen. This had to stop. I approached head nurse Rachel, asking if someone else could take Thomas. "He's too comfortable," I said carefully. "I'd prefer space." Rachel frowned. "We're short-staffed, but I'll see what I can do." No relief came. The next day, my name was still beside his. Steeling myself, I entered his room, not just a nurse now, but a woman ready to draw lines. He was waiting, no smirk, no ease, staring out the window, hands clenched. "I need to talk," he said quietly, not turning. I stayed by the door. "About your care?" He faced me, eyes locking mine. "About what happened?" My voice stayed steady. "I'm here for your medical needs, Mr. Langley. Other concerns go to management." He shook his head. "You don't have to pretend. I know you felt it too." A chill ran down my spine. "You're mistaken," I said firmly. "Whatever you think happened, didn't." He leaned forward. "You didn't walk away that first time." The door creaked open. Not the doctor, his wife. Eleanor, silent eyes scanning, pausing on me, then him. "What's going on?" she asked, her tone too calm. I stepped back. "I was just leaving." Her gaze burned as I passed, sharp as glass. In the hall, I exhaled, realizing I'd held my breath. Something was deeply wrong, and it wasn't over. The rest of my shift felt like wading through fog. Passing exam room 3. My nerves spiked, fearing Thomas or Eleanor would appear. I kept my head down, focused on charts, vitals, patients, but the unease festered. His stare, his words, her chilling calm, they looped in my mind. The tablet's repeated alerts, Thomas requesting me, felt like a shadow I couldn't shake. By day's end exhausted, I clocked out craving fresh air. But at the staff exit, Seattle's neon lights reflecting on wet pavement, I saw him. Thomas by the double doors waiting. My steps faltered. "I just want to talk," he said, voice low, too casual like old friends. I glanced around. Nurses passed oblivious. "This isn't appropriate, Mr. Langley," I said. He stepped closer. "You don't need to fear me. I'm not scared I lied, but you're crossing lines." Before I could turn, a voice called Olivia Mark. The new X-ray tech waved, smiling. Relief flooded me. I turned to him, and when I looked back, Thomas had retreated, expression unreadable. Another time he muttered, vanishing. I fled, heart pounding. Next day, I begged Rachel again to reassign Thomas. She promised to try, but with staffing, tight, hope was thin. I avoided his hall, taking detours, chasing normalcy. During a break in the staff room, sipping coffee, Seattle's skyline gray beyond the window, my tablet pinged. Thomas requested me. Urgent. My stomach lurched. I nearly ignored it, but duty pulled me. Badge on scrubs straightened. I marched to room 3, ready to slam the door if he tried anything. Inside, he sat on the bed's edge, staring out, graver than before. "I need to talk," he said, voice low, heavy. I stayed neutral. "About your care. Know about what happened." I hugged the doorframe. "I've explained, Mr. Langley." He cut me off, eyes blazing. "You think you're the only one confused?" I blinked, off guard. "I'm not playing games," he said, standing. "You can't deny something's here. You haven't told anyone. That means something." "It means I'm keeping it professional," I snapped. He stepped closer, too close. In a flash, he grabbed my wrist. "Don't," I said, yanking free. He smiled faintly. "You won't tell anyone, right?" "You know how this looks." The door creaked. Eleanor stood in the shadow, hearing enough. Her face was cold, unreadable. She stared, silent. I backed out, heart hammering, slipping past without a glance. What had she heard? What did she believe that night? As I prepared to leave Seattle's rain, a soft hum, I saw her at reception. "Eleanor." "I need a word," she said, voice low, direct. I hesitated, then nodded. She led me to a small, dusty office down the hall. The door clicked shut and she faced me, arms crossed. "I know what you did with my husband." My heart sank. "No, ma'am. It's not what you think." "Don't lie," she snapped. "I've seen how he looks at you, how you react." "I've done nothing improper," I said, voice shaking. "You're not the first," she said coldly. "But you could be the last." She left the air heavy. Boundaries blurred. Rules shifted. This wasn't over. Days passed in tense caution, Seattle's gloom mirroring my mood. I stuck to the hospital's far wing, avoiding room 3, tweaking brakes to dodge them. Eleanor's warning echoed like a ticking clock. But nothing prepared me for what came next. Late evening, most staff gone, Seattle's skyline twinkling, I finished paperwork at the nurses' station. Thomas stood at the hall's end, alone, waiting. My breath caught. He shouldn't be there, his exam was done. Why was he lingering? I stood heading for the back exit, but he stepped forward. "Olivia," he said, voice weary, low. "We've talked enough," I shot back, moving past, but he blocked me, gentle, not aggressive, just enough to make me listen. "She spoke to you, didn't she?" I nodded, posture rigid. "Yes, and we should stop this before it worsens." He smiled, slow, unsettling. "She doesn't know half the truth." Tension snapped like a wire. He grabbed my wrist. "Let go," I hissed, pulling free. "This is harassment." "You won't report me," he said calmly. "You know how it goes, your word against mine." I opened my mouth but froze. Eleanor stood behind him in the hall's shadow, hearing everything. The air turned icy. Thomas stiffened, sensing my gaze, and turned slowly. Eleanor, arms crossed, face blank, eyes calculating, spoke. "Everything okay here?" Her voice was too calm. I backed away. I was leaving. I rushed past, heart pounding, toward the exit. Had she heard enough to confront him? Would she come for me again? I didn't want to know. At the door, Seattle's night air sharp, a hand touched my shoulder. I spun, braced. "Eleanor." "Wait," she said softly. I stared, torn between running and listening. "We need to talk," she added, gesturing to an empty consultation room. Reluctantly, I followed. Inside, she shut the door, her expression unreadable. "I've seen how he looks at you," she said. "I know what he's capable of." My mouth went dry. "Then why I'm not here to threaten you," she cut in firm. "I'm here to help." I blinked. "What, Thomas? My husband has a dark side," she continued. "He manipulates women, nurses, coworkers, neighbors, even family friends. I've let it slide until now." She pulled a folder from her bag, handing it to me. Photos, documents, texts painted a chilling picture. "He's done this for years," she said. "Not just you." My hands shook, flipping through. "Why tell me?" She drew a small silver key from her pocket. "Because I want you to help me expose him." My head spun. "What, you're already in the fire?" she said. "Why not burn it down?" The room tilted. Was she serious? A trap? Or had she truly shed the perfect wife's mask? Before I could answer, she opened the door. "Think about it," she said, stepping out. "But don't take too long. He's planning his next move." I stood clutching the folder and key, trapped in something deeper, darker than I'd imagined. Now I had to choose: walk away, pretend nothing happened, or stay and dive into whatever came next. Thank you for listening to this story. Subscribe for more and explore the gripping shades of life.